Okay, no.
So it
But
really
if you're
doesn't.
against Israel, it means you got to kill the Jews. I mean, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free means free of
course.
Jews. That's what it means.
You know what? Something that the public don't know, that most of the atrocities that happened on October 7 was not only committed by Hamas. Hamas came first, and Hamas operatives were there. But then the waves of civilians, those are the ones, most of the rape and kidnapping that happened, it was on the hands of what so-called civilians.
In Gaza, yeah.
Yes. And we saw how also what so-called civilians treated the hostages on their way into Gaza, even the corpses.
If that's the case, when Israel wins, and it's going to win, it's going to wipe out Hamas, what should it do after that with Gaza? What are you going to do with all these people who are involved? They're implicit. They were participants in this horror. What should be done? Given there are 49 countries in the world that are Muslim majority countries in the world, and not one of them is offering or has offered to accept Gazan refugees. They know better, right?
Listen, it's even Israel, without doing this, has been accused of ethnic cleansing and the displacement of Palestinians, which there is no such thing as Palestinian. Right. There are Arabs and other actually groups. Now it looks like we are dealing with a community or a society, sub-society, subdivided with subdivisions for like eternity. They are all conflicted, without leadership, that have failed terribly of coexisting with the Jewish neighbors. Even though Israel has no problem coexisting with Arabs. Israel has 2 million Arabs as citizens with equal rights. Those who shall say no equals, no, they have equal rights. But not every citizen is showing equal responsibility. This is why they get in trouble. But what to do with people who cannot coexist? We have like now reached a point where I'm afraid that separation is a necessity. Call it apartheid, call it whatever you want to call it. I think it's just torture to have two cultures that they cannot coexist with each other, especially when one of them is insisting on violence.
And insisting on the death of the other, right? There's no middle ground. If somebody wants to kill you and you want to live, there's no middle ground.
Annihilation. But then also, if you want to kill, killing is something. How can you explain the raping? Killing is a capital crime, but raping is beyond. So when we are dealing with a rape culture, a death cult, and yes, I am generalizing because this is the general vibe of that society.
That's correct.
So what to do?
Has to be destroyed, in my view.
People, and now people who don't understand that culture come from the outside and say, we're
all the same. You just need a good job and good education.
The two-state solution with economy, etc. This is going to lead to prosperity, and there is going to be peace. Nobody can guarantee that. We're talking about two different people, the opposite. And one of them is depending on the destruction of the other. So, my personal opinion, the confederation between Egypt and Gaza, between parts of the West Bank, what's so-called the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, that's like the most populated areas, and Jordan. Not fully Jordan. So I would give the authority to the tribes, to the major tribes.
Mm-hmm.
I would have them under the authority of the Jordanian intelligence that manage them, but from outside, not from inside. And I would have a police keeping force dressed in white, okay, without big guns, if necessary, just sticks to keep the order inside those communities. But the superior hand is to the Israeli security that is monitoring everything. The ones with serious security violation must be deported to the Jordanian desert in a high security prison. And they would be locked up until they realize that they are going nowhere. Otherwise, the cycle of violence will continue for eternity. If you ask me, some of the people of the West Bank or Gaza also to have the option of compensation and relocation. So it's their own will. Here is a package, and here is a country, 2, 3, 20 countries as an option. You have the freedom to move out if you don't like this arrangement. We don't need another state.
That's right.
We don't need another state, especially we don't know who's going to rule it.
Right. It'll be.
Is it going to be the jihadist,
same.
the Islamist, the communist, the devil? It's something that is not worth risking anymore.